Hello students, in this lecture we are going to discuss about a very important topic in cosmology, which is the Friedmann-Lemaitre-Robertson-Walker metric. Okay, in short we call it FLRW metric. Okay, why we need this? What is the application of this metric? What is the meaning of metric? We will discuss everything in this lecture. So first of all, as we know that the standard cosmological principle demands a smooth homogeneous and isotropic universe. Okay, so basically we have to deal with a smooth homogeneous and isotropic universe. Now when we are dealing with such kind of universe, okay, and we when we want to understand the dynamics of the universe, so what we need equations of motion for that system. And here our system is homogeneous and isotropic, and it is a very large system. And we want that the equations of motions should satisfy this standard cosmological principle. Okay. So basically, metric is basically a distance between two points in a space, or in more general, a distance between two points in a space time. Distance between two points in a space time. Okay. Now, and based on this metric which we design here, okay, this metric will directly go into Einstein's equations, and from that Einstein's equation we will get our equations of motions. Okay, so this is the basic recipe, that first of all you design a metric for a system, plug it into Einstein's equation, and from Einstein's equations you will get equations of motions. You have already seen that what we will get will be Friedmann equations. Okay, so this is the standard recipe, okay, to deal with equations of motions. So, and in this whole thing, this FLRW metric plays a very important role. Okay, so first of all, what do you mean by the term metric in the general notion? Okay, so if there is a 3D space, okay, so if you are having a 3D space, then the distance between two points in the Cartesian coordinates can be written as, okay, dl square is equal to dx square plus dy square plus dz square. Okay, so this is the distance between two points in a space. Okay, we all are familiar with these things. Okay, so if I want to find the total distance between two points, then, okay, basically if there are 2 points, if I call this a point 1 and this I call point 2, okay, then integration from point 1 to from point 1 to point 2 will be this. Okay, So this can be also written as 1 to 2 integration, okay, dx square plus dy square plus dz square. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, now, okay, this thing is valid. Okay, okay, now if I, this is valid for space. Okay, now for a space time, okay, now if you incorporate time also, okay, as we know that from special relativity that 2 points in a space may be at different times and they may be having different times also. Okay, so time is not a universal quantity, so you can have 2 points which are having two different times. So you can write then ds square is equal to c dt square minus, okay, dx square minus dy square, okay, minus dz square. Okay, so this is an important result. Okay, but this is only valid for flat space time. Okay, so if there is no curvature in the there is no curvature if the system is flat. So for flat space time, this thing is valid. This is referred as Minkowski, okay, metric. Okay. So basically you can see that this is also a metric, okay, but it is giving you the distance between 2 points in a space. Okay, this is if you are incorporating time also, then there will be an extra factor which is related with the time difference between 2 points, and these are the terms which are same. Okay, so this is the Minkowski metric. Okay, this difference between the signs of space, and this is because of the invariance of the metric, which is very important. You can see that here it is, okay, positive coefficient of time and there are no negative coefficients of space. This is very important for invariance. Okay, and this is demanded by special relativity, or else the equations of motions will break. Okay, so this is important, and you remember that this is known as Minkowski metric. Okay, now let us discuss something in detail. Okay, so suppose we are only talking about space. So if there can be three types of surfaces. Okay, a flat surface. Okay, there can be curved surface also. Okay, so curved surface will be basically defined by their curvatures. This is the surface with positive curvature. Okay, and this is the surface with negative curvature. Okay, how to know whether a surface is having a flat surface, whether it is having a positive curvature or a negative curvature? The thing is very simple. What you do, on that surface draw a circle. Okay, if the circumference of that circle is coming equal to 2 pi d, okay, where d is the diameter. Okay, so we call that this is 2 pi r, and r is basically the radius, so we call it is equal to a flat surface. Okay, if the circumference is coming less than 2 pi r or 2 pi d, where d is the radius, then we call it as a surface of, okay, positive curvature. And if the circumference is coming greater than 2 pi d, then we call it as a surface of negative curvature. So basically you can see that this is something looking like a sphere. A sphere has a positive curvature. This is coming looking like a horse seat or a saddle. You can call this as a saddle. Okay. Okay. A bike seat or a scooter seat, you can see that it is something looking like this. So those are the surfaces with a negative curvature. This is a sphere which is having a positive curvature, and this is having a flat surface. Okay, so this is a surface with zero curvature. Okay, so we are calling this as a surface with zero curvature. Okay, now so let us talk about, okay, so this metric which we have seen, okay, this does not take the curvature in account. Now universe can have a curvature, universe may be a flat universe, universe may be a negative curvature, whatever it may be. Okay, we want a metric which can also take the curvature of the universe in account. Okay, the other thing is that it should be homogeneous, it should be taking the isotropy, all these things should be taken into account. Okay, so we are taking a very general example. We are taking a very infinitely large sphere. Okay, so basically you can see in this that there is a sphere, and we are taking 2 points P1 and P2. Okay, so this is your point P1, this is your point P2, and we are actually calculating the distance between 2 points P1 and P2. Okay, and so basically this all things are same. We are taking spherical polar coordinates in the consideration, and we are going ahead. So you can see that this is basically the r kind of thing, and which is basically the multiplication of r into theta. This is basically your phi, this is your theta angle. Okay, so all these things, this is your r. Okay, so all these things are common, and we will actually take this part into account. Okay, so you can see here that you are having actually 2 points P1 and P2. Okay, so there is a point P1, there is a point P2, and you have to find the distance between 2 points on a curved surface. So you can see here that it looks like, so let me expand this thing for you. So it is like this. Okay, something like that. I'm not very good at drawing. So yeah, so actually this is the distance between 2 points. We call it dl. Okay, from the sphere, from this diagram you can see this is your dl. Okay, this part they have, you can see that it is equal to r into d theta. Okay, and this part is actually r into d phi. Okay, so I can write here, so I have a triangle now. Okay, so this is also equal to r d theta. So now this is r d theta, this is equal to r into d phi, and this is your dl. This is your point P1, this is your point P2. Okay, so you can simply see that I can write the distance between 2 points as dl square is equal to, okay, r into d theta square plus r into d phi square. Okay, so this is how this thing comes. So this can be now written as, so we are having dl square is equal to, okay, r into d theta square plus r into d phi square. Okay, so we are having this thing, and since you know that from this that r can be written as r is equal to capital R into sine theta. Okay, just the projection on this axis. So r can be written as r sine theta, and if I write dr, just taking the derivative, so partial derivative, so r into sine theta will be cos theta and this will be d theta. Okay, so this is the thing. So I can write here from this that r into d theta is equal to dr by cos theta, and if I write cos theta in terms of small r and capital R, this will be capital R into dr divided by under root of r square minus r square. Okay, so this is a trivial identity, and this will be equal to r d theta is equal to, if I take capital R in the denominator, then this will be 1 minus r square by capital R square. Okay, so this is the value of r into d theta. So the value of dl square, which was equal to r d theta, so you have calculated the value of r d theta now. So this is equal to dr upon under root of 1 minus r square by r square. Okay, plus r into d phi square. Okay, so if I so if I write this, so this is the entire equation in terms of r and phi. If I also plug in theta part, okay, by using some coordinates rescaling, then I can write it dl square is equal to dr into under root of 1 minus r square by r square, okay, square plus r into d theta square plus r sin theta d phi square. Okay, so this is the thing which we are having. Okay, this is r into sin theta d phi, and this is the whole square. Okay, so this r basically, this is your dr, this is your d theta, and this is your d phi. So you are having your metric in terms of, initially the Minkowski metric, you will see it was in terms of dx, dy, dz. Okay, and if you incorporate time also in this, then you have to use the additional factor of d2. So you will have now for space time, okay, this can be simply written as, we have to incorporate time, so ds square is equal to c into dt square minus dr upon, okay, under root of 1 minus. Now here you remember that for a sphere the curvature is defined as k is equal to 1 by r square. So k is equal to 1 by capital R square. Okay, so here instead of writing 1 by r square, I will write curvature. So this is your k into r square, okay, the square of this quantity minus, okay, r d theta square and minus r sin theta d phi square. Okay, so this is very important result. Okay, let me rewrite again this thing in the next page. So what we have got is that the distance between 2 points on a curved surface can be written as, okay, if it is a spherical kind of surface, c dt minus dr into 1 minus k, which is your curvature, into r square, okay, into divided, okay, minus r into d theta square minus r sine theta d phi, okay, this is dt, okay. So this is your metric, okay, in spherical polar coordinates, okay, considering curvature of the universe. Now, in one of the previous lectures, I have told you about co-moving coordinate system. Okay. Since you know that universe is expanding, so if there is, okay, if there are 2 points, okay, 1 and 2, and the distance between 2 points is x, okay, so after a point of time, okay, the universe will expand and your distance has become now 2x, okay. So basically what we will tell is that r of t can be now written as a of t into x, okay. X is the distance between 2 points, okay. This is the distance in 3D you can also take, okay. So this is actually that this is your scale factor, okay. So this is your scale factor, this is your distance, and this is generally your how we denote the distance, okay, in cosmology. Now this curvature is actually a time dependent quantity, okay. The curvature can change with time, okay. So we can write this as equal to k by, okay, here k is a constant, we can replace this with at square, okay. So a again is a scale factor and this small k is some constant, okay. So we are writing the curvature like this, okay. So if I use so if I call this as equation number 1, if I call this as equation number 3, okay, so if I plug equation number 2 and 3, okay, in 1, okay, then you will get dA square is equal to c dt square minus a square t, okay. Now this is a scale factor which comes outside as a common, and this is again, okay, dx, okay, 1 minus k square, okay. See, don't misunderstand yourself this x with that Cartesian coordinate or x dimension or a one dimensional coordinate, okay. This is just some replacement of r, okay, square minus r d theta square minus r sine theta into d phi square, okay. So this is your thing, okay. And in a more of, okay, we will again go from, okay, just changing index, okay, x to r, okay. Since instead of x you will see that r is more commonly used, but it has the same physical meaning as x, okay. Just I am writing a more common notation, okay, which you will find in most of the textbooks. It is generally written as c dt square minus a square t, okay. It is, you just treat x as a dummy index, okay. So I am just writing x as r, okay, dr square under root of 1 minus k r square plus r square into d theta square plus sine square theta into d phi square. Okay, so this is known as your FLRW metric, a very very important thing in cosmology, and from this metric itself you will be getting your Friedman equations of motions. Okay, so Friedman equations of motions generally come from this this metric. Okay.